My countrymen, this is Eli Velez Lau Pamatong, President of the Republic of the Philippines. And tonight I would like to share with you once again what I recorded earlier, and that is the abuses of the United States of America against the Filipino people. I want to emphasize certain points that I don't want our people to forget about Philippine-American relations. When I was a student at Silliman University, one of my favorite subjects was history, especially Western history. And I think excelled in that subject because at one time I was offered scholarship by Professor Gilbert Lycan at the Stetson University of Florida. I think he was impressed by my performance, and so I was offered scholarship, free scholarship, of course. But I refused the offer because I was so absorbed into the world of activism. I was already an activist at Silliman University, and I wanted to continue that at the University of the Philippines. And that is why I refused the scholarship offered to me by a visiting professor, Professor Gilbert Lycan. Now, with respect to Philippine-American relations, I studied that deeply because I really wanted to know what happened in the past. And to be able to study the subject deeply, I wrote a book, American Birthright on Trial, Why Filipinos Are Still American Citizens, followed by another book, The American Genocide of 20 million brown Americans, and still followed by a smaller book with the same title, Why Filipinos Are Still Citizens of the United States. And to a certain extent, I am really very familiar with the subject. I'm not going to say I am an expert on the subject, but I am very familiar. And looking back, I kept asking myself, and I'm asking you tonight, I'm asking you this question. If the Filipinos did not fight for America during the Second World War, do you think America would be as great and as rich as America that is today? I repeat, if America was not helped by the Filipinos in the war against Japan, would America be a great country today? Now, please remember that the first time the Americans and the Japanese fought on Philippine soil, America lost. They were humiliated. I mean, the Americans were humiliated. They were jailed at Santo Tomas. Many of them were jailed there for 4 years. And MacArthur had to escape to Australia via a submarine. And he was successful in that escape. But then, while in Australia, he vowed to return. I shall return. And that statement became a song. It became a part of the prayer and the mantras of the Filipinos. I shall return. They were singing that. They were incorporating that into their daily prayers. I shall return. So MacArthur became deeply endeared by the Filipinos in the process because the Japanese failed to win the hearts of the Filipinos when they came. They massacred thousands of children publicly. They hurled children into the air, caught them by the tip of their bayonets, the infants. And so the Filipinos were horrified by the way the Japanese treated the Filipinos. I mean, yeah, their brother Filipinos. They were horrified and they didn't like the way the Japanese treated the Filipinos. And that deepened their loyalty to America. And they were imagining MacArthur to be a conquering hero, a redeemer, a savior. And again, they were singing, I shall return. And that phrase was a part of their prayer, became a part of their prayer. And in the process, the whole nation fought for MacArthur and fought the Japanese. The first time the Americans fought the Japanese here, there were only a few of them, and there were only a few members of the USAF. And so they lost easily because Japan was over-prepared for the war. America was not prepared for the war. Their runways, their air forts were poorly constructed. They had only a few planes here. And so they were poorly prepared and they lost to the Japanese. It was only, I repeat, only when the Filipinos united. Young children fought for America, young women, old men, old women. The whole country fought for America, about 20 million or more Filipinos fought against Japan on behalf of America. And so when MacArthur came back to the Philippines, the Japanese were already running. They were about to be defeated. And it was easy for MacArthur to reconquer the Philippines or recover the Philippines because the whole Filipino nation fought for America and routed Japan. After fighting for America, they routed Japan. But unfortunately, during the signing ceremony of the Treaty of Surrender, Tokyo, the Filipinos were not invited. Not a single Filipino officer was invited. America claimed all the glory and the victory of the war, not the Filipinos. But I repeat, what if the Filipinos did not fight for America? Do you think America would be as great as America today? No. America would have been humiliated, shamed by the defeat. And America would not have been able to rise to that level of power that it is today. So America, in a sense, owes the Philippines a debt of gratitude, a very immeasurable debt of gratitude to the Filipino people. And secondly, what if America did not take most, if not all, of the gold from Benguet and Balatok mines, countless gold, and stashed them at Fort Knox? Do you think America will be as rich as it is today without the Philippine gold, without the Yamasita gold and treasures? Of course not. According to the reporters, countless gold bars were taken by America to Fort Knox for safekeeping, presumably. But they forgot about safekeeping. They wanted to keep it all. And even the glory that we had at Second World War, they grabbed the credit from the Filipinos. They claimed the credit, but actually they lost. We won. And again, I ask two questions. What if the Filipinos did not fight for America? Well, America would not be as great as it is today. What if the Americans did not take all the gold from Balatok mine and Benguet and stash them at Fort Knox? America would not be as rich as it is today. So I would say that substantially, in substance, the victory of America was contributed by the Filipinos. That's why when I spoke at the United Nations, I was confident in saying, and I was proud in saying, if America is free today, if America is great today, a part of that greatness and a part of that freedom had been paid for by the lives, blood, sweat, and tears of the Filipino people. Why? About 2 million Filipinos died during the war. only 15,000 Americans died, and they were backseat warriors. They were just telling the Filipinos what to do. As backseaters, we fought the fight, and we fought a good fight. And according to the Americans, the Filipinos did most of the fighting, most of the dying. 2 million died. And they did do the dying, and then they claim credit for the war against Japan. And that's why they rose to the highest level of respect from their European counterparts. So again, to repeat, I don't want you to forget this. America is great today because the Filipinos sanctified or consecrated their blood on the American greatness. Not a single state of America today, not New York, not California, not Kentucky, could say that they sacrifice more lives than the Filipinos. Filipinos sacrificed more than 2 million lives for America. Not one of the states did that. Not one of the territories of America like Samoa, the Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico. Not one of them offered as much lives as the Filipinos, that the American people may live forever free, that the American people may be great again, if ever it was great before. We offered the most contribution to the victory of America, to the wealth of America. Yet, after that, what did they do to the Filipinos? They were maligned, humiliated. Those who went to the U.S. Embassy were humiliated by the Americans today. They laugh at you. They think you are animals and you don't deserve an American visa. Whereas the Japanese, Italians, Germans, who killed thousands upon thousands of Americans, are given free visa under the visa waiver program. Visa waiver program. Libre yung mga Amerikano, Germans, Italians, and Japanese magpunta doon. Libre. Yun ang pumatay ng Amerikano. Tayo nagpakamatay para sa Amerikano. Pinahirapan tayo. Siguro mabuti pa kung pumatay tayo ng Amerikano. Then siguro libre rin yung visa natin to America. Yun ang yung masakit. The history of America is actually running parallel with the history of Catholicism. Yung Catholics from the 12th century to the 18th century, pumatay ng 100 million people. Kinuha nila yung mga wealth doon sa Spain ng mga Hudyo. They took all the wealth, brought them to Italy, and built huge buildings, churches out of the wealth of the people they killed in Spain and other places in Europe. So the Vatican City has been built or was built on the life, sweat, and tears of more than 100 million people in Europe, especially the Hitler killed the Jews. They killed the Jews and then confiscated the properties of the Jews and used the money to build churches and cathedrals in Rome, in Italy. So the history of America and the Catholic Church are running parallel with each other. Because America also killed thousands of Indians before going to America. They are squatters. They are not the owners of America. They are squatters. And when they came to the Philippines, they took our gold and then killed those who were left behind, those who survived. And then those who still survived, tinanggalan ng citizenship. About 20 million Filipinos were divested of their citizenship, which the Supreme Court said is more sacred than life, which the Supreme Court said cannot be touched by Congress because Congress is lower than citizens, and which Franklin Delano Roosevelt said should be returned to the Filipinos because it was a big historic mistake to take away the citizenship of the Filipino people. To repeat before I close, I would say that America is great today because of the blood, sweat, and tears and lives of the Filipinos. without the Filipinos, America would not be America that it is today. It would be a poor country, humiliated by the world, and it would not even be probably respected by any nation in the world today. So if America, I repeat, is great today, if America is free today, a part of that greatness and a part of that freedom had been paid for with the lives, blood, sweat, and tears of the Filipino people. I think I have said enough. Thank you and good night.